Alrighty then, so who's the girl who can't seem to keep consistent? Hey everybody, and I'm drinking tea right now. I'm drinking tea. But I'm here to talk about none other than a series that came out a while ago. So, you know what? Let's get ready to talk about, let's get to another manga review. I like that. Let's get to another manga review. So the manga that we are talking about is none other than, let me see if I can say the Japanese name because we're weebs like that. Tensai Shitara Slime Datta Ken. I don't know if I said that right, but I feel like I could have. Anyway, I'm talking about none other than that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Now, as you can see on this new channel, I did another channel and I just can't seem to be consistent. But I kind of like the way I'm doing this one, which is ashes to ashes. Obviously, ashes here and then ashes wherever I put ashes next. It's going to be drawing the picture and it's just going to be an OC of mine. You know what I forgot to do? Glasses. I have glasses. I usually do glasses on my OCs. It doesn't even matter at this point. But about the show that I'm talking about, which is I got reincarnated as a slime. But let's just let's get into it because I don't want to be here forever. And to be honest, wasn't a fan. Like, I'm just gonna be straight with you. I didn't think it was that good. Like, let's just take a break for a second, okay? I got reincarnated as a slime is basically about a guy who was, how old was he? He was 27, 37. He was some other old age, you know, and he died. He got stabbed, and then he was later reincarnated as a slime, an immortal slime, which is already OP by the way. Okay, it's one thing to get reincarnated as a character or something like that, but the fear of death is always one that I think puts a lot of thrill and suspense inside of a story. When you get reincarnated as something immortal, kind of kills it. I mean, vampires aren't even immortal. I mean, they live a long time, but if you can kill them, that means they're not really immortal. Any other supernatural creature is not immortal. And all the immortal storylines in anime and manga, they're all trying to find ways to die. So I was a little peeved about this one, but I wasn't sure. You know, I wasn't even going to get into this one until I was like, it's gotten pretty popular and they're planning to come out with season 2 next year. So it must have been good somehow. So I took a look into it and let's just break this down, right? Let's talk about the art style right now. So the art style is very shoujo. If you don't know, it's kind of like this bubbly feel. It's really cutesy. I mean, the slime is just a little ball of cute little goo. Everything's pretty. The girls are just very, ooh, baby. You know, and a lot of, I said shoujo? Did I say shoujo? I said shoujo. Shoujo! Okay. We're gonna need to backtrack. We're gonna edit that part. So it's very shonen. But there's not a lot of detail in some of the characters. Now, when I say shoujo and shonen, a lot of it has more, is more genre oriented. Shoujo is usually characterized as more romantic, catered, targeting girls, where shonen is catered and targets boys. But we'll notice in a lot of shoujo and shonen, they do have their own art styles, where shoujo will have a lot of more attention to detail, a lot of curvaceousness, while shonen might have curves, but they focus more on the action, so a lot of things kind of get blocky compared to shoujo. I would categorize this more as shoujo, actually, to be honest with you. Even though it is kind of blocky, it does have a lot of intricate details. I mean, the main character, you can see the strands of hair, which is very typical of a shoujo style manga, anime. Yeah. So the art style wasn't that bad. I wasn't peeved. When I read the manga, which is what I started with, it was decently flowing. I was like, the flow is really good. The storyline concept is pretty good. I talked to my brother who actually read the light novel, and he said they took out quite a bit from the light novel, such as he had a mana bar, which I'm going to get into, and stuff like that, and other things. But sometimes when you're transferring light novel to graphic novel, things can get lost, and so I wasn't too peeved about that. But the art style was generally very easy to read through. There wasn't a lot of contrast in there, like heavy dark shadows, things like that. The style was pretty good. The art, the clothing, pretty awesome. What's his name did it? And you know I had it, so that's why I'm cheating, because I had it. Fuse or Fuse was the author, and mitz was the artist of it, and I liked the way he did it. It's a very typical style that was coming out around this time, so the art style is pretty generic, to be honest, but it's not bad. Generic doesn't mean it's bad, it's just very common. I need some tea. Let's talk about the storyline. So when I read this storyline, I didn't want to. I usually stay away from this storyline, and not for any reason in particular. I love reincarnation stories. I don't mind isekais, and I don't mind fantasy. All three genres are in my ballpark of reading, but something about this just kind of turned me off. Got reincarnated as a slime. I was like, ugh. But because the second season is coming out, I said, you know what? Let me take a chance. So the storyline is, like I said, there's a guy who gets stabbed, and he is going to... he gets reborn as an immortal slime, and he has an OP... I saw a little ant. There you go. He has this OP power called Predator, which allows him to absorb, I think the word would probably be absorb, whatever it is, whether it's a demon, a human, or whatever thing, and gain the ability of that creature. Yeah, I'm talking very slowly because I'm not 100%. I didn't read this multiple times like I would have wanted to, and honestly, I didn't get past chapter 7. But there's a good reason for that. Okay, so as you're reading it, you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. It's not too shoujo where there's a lot of romance in the beginning. It starts off very lukewarm, kind of building you up, where this guy is like cool-headed. He's pretty chill, but he seems a little OP for my standards. But we're like, we'll give him a chance. I don't mind main characters who win at everything. 1 out. If you guys have never seen that, you have missed out on life. But I was just a little underwhelmed. I just couldn't seem to find what was so good about this. And yeah, you kind of saw some predictability here. I just think the author gave him a little bit too much, which I've actually noticed a lot in light novels nowadays. My brother is actually a super big fan of reading light novels. He writes some web novels, and he's also a huge reader. He's always reading it more than he's doing his homework, but whatever. And I tried to get into the light novel franchise, but I noticed a lot of these guys who are writing it do it based on what they personally wish would happen, which is OP characters. And this was one of them. And I'm not a fan of OP characters. I mean, come on, when did we move away from those who were the underdogs and they fought hard to now, nah, we gonna make them the cunning OP characters who succeed at everything. and our boss and have to solve stuff and fix things and create worlds, which is where this storyline goes. Apparently, in further investigation, this is a world building type story where he's creating basically a new world under his kingly slime rule. Like, I mean, if you're into that, kudos to you. All us normal people. I'm like, I just didn't understand it. I just didn't understand. I thought it was going to be a little bit more intricate than that, but I was just like, nah. So I was just not a huge fan of it at all. Anyway, so I stopped reading. But I didn't think that it was actually that bad. So I would recommend this to people. Just not for me. So the third part we're gonna get into is my own personal opinion. My own personal opinion about this is that it's not bad. I mean, it's one of those feel-good type storylines that are kind of cutesy, kind of interesting. It's kind of one of those that if you have nothing else, why don't you sit and watch it? I just got reincarnated as a slime. It's pretty decent, but it's nothing too intense, and it's not something that I would go, oh my goodness, I have to continue reading this, or oh my goodness, I have to continue watching this. I'm the type of person that it has to be good enough for me to pick back up. Like, if I don't binge watch it for a day and I pause it and go to sleep, is it interesting enough for me to watch the next day? Probably not. But it's still good, and I still think it's one of those that should definitely be in your repertoire. Will I actually watch the anime? I think the anime was pretty well done, but I didn't feel like the magnetic pull. When you watched enough anime, and can there be enough, to be honest? Can there ever be enough anime being watched? Never. But when you watch enough and you've read enough manga, you're kind of like, I know where this is gonna go. I feel like one of those 50-year-old women, 50 or 40, I mean one of those older women who are like, you know what, I've gotten to the age where I don't care what people think. I got my own life. I know what I like, I know what I don't like, and I'm not afraid to say it. That's where I'm at. That's where I am right now. Basically there. So did I like it? I thought it was very cute. But it's not for me. But don't feel like you can't watch it. Watch it. Tell me what you think. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I have no taste in anime. Tell me SAO is best. Oh gosh. Or even better yet, tell me Code Geass is best. That's gonna get people hyped, because my brother loves Code Geass and I love telling him it's the worst. I did watch all of Code Geass. Maybe I should do a video on Code Geass. Put myself in there. Maybe I should. Like in the picture that I drew, obviously she has like a little dagger behind her back, because through this thing I kind of just wanted to kill the sun. So bad. I'm not a dom. This is family friendly, right? That's family friendly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not a sadist. That's friendly. Dom might not be, but sadist is family friendly, I think. Doesn't even matter. The point is, if you want to read this, watch this, go hit it up. I tell you where I read it, but I haven't gotten to that level on this channel yet. So I'll do that eventually when they give me the right to. I hate when people license things on like my manga websites, and they're like, oh, the author licensed it, and I'm like, I know you want to make money, but can you give it to the poor? I'm losing it. Anyway, if you like this video, let me know. Hit that. I'm trying to put my tea down. Stay warm. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to subscribe, I will be making another video sometime Just wait for it. Be patient. Wait for me, my love. Okay? Wait for me. I waited for you. Anyway, I'll see you guys another time with another video on another manga or anime review. Peace. Peace. Deuces. Hashtags. I don't even know. Adios.